Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Chiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Gopi Janavalava Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Gopi Janavalava Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Chiravanachari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Chiravanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajacacharya Shtottara Shata Shishimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajacacharya Shtottara Shata Shishimad Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine nirviśeṣa-šunyavādi paścatya-deshatarine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottama Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashta Prayeshavadresho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike Grantaraja Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 26, Fundamental Principles of Material Nature, and text number 10. śrī-bhagavān uvāca yata tri-guṇam avyaktam nityam sad-asad-ātmakam pradhānaṁ prakṛtim prāhur aviśeṣaṁ viśeṣa-vat yata tri-guṇam avyaktam nityam sad-asad-ātmakam pradhānaṁ prakṛtim prāhur aviśeṣaṁ viśeṣa-vat. Please, someone else. śrī-bhagavān tri-guṇam avyaktam śrī-bhagavān yata tri-guṇam avyaktam nityam sad-asad-ātmakam pradhānaṁ prakṛtiṁ prāhur aviśeṣaṁ viśeṣa-vat. śrī-bhagavān yata tri-guṇam avyaktam nityam sad-asad-ātmakam aviśeṣaṁ viśeṣa-vat. Ladies, śrī-bhagavān yata tri-guṇam avyaktam nityam sad-asad-ātmakam pradhānaṁ prakṛtir prāhuḥ aviśeṣaṁ viśeṣa-vat. śrī-bhagavān yata tri-guṇam avyaktam nityam sad-asad-ātmakam pradhānaṁ prakṛtim prāhur aviśeṣaṁ viśeṣa-vat. śrī-bhagavān The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Yat, now further, tat, that, tri-guṇam, combination of the three modes, avyaktam, unmanifested, nityam, eternal, sat-asat-ātmakam, consisting of cause and effect, pradhānam, the pradhāna, prakṛtim, prakṛti, prāhuḥ, they call, aviśeṣaṁ, undifferentiated, viśeṣa-vat, possessing differentiation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the unmanifested eternal combination of the three modes is the cause of the manifest state and is called pradhāna. It is called prakṛtim when in the manifested stage of existence. Purport. The Lord points out material nature in his subtle stage, which is called pradhāna, and he analyzes this pradhāna. The explanation of pradhāna and prakṛti is that pradhāna is the subtle, undifferentiated sum total of all material elements. Although they are undifferentiated, one can understand that the total material elements are contained therein. When the total material elements are manifested by the interaction of the three modes of material nature, the manifestation is called prakṛti. Impersonalists say that Brahman is without variegatedness and without differentiation. One may say that pradhāna is the Brahman stage, but actually the Brahman stage is not pradhāna. Pradhāna is distinct from Brahman because in Brahman there is no existence in the material modes of nature. One may argue that the mahat-tattva is also different from pradhāna because in the mahat-tattva there are manifestations. The actual explanation of pradhāna, however, is given here. When the cause and effect are not clearly manifested, avyaktaṁ, the reaction of the total elements does not take place. And that stage of material nature is called pradhāna. Pradhāna is not the time element, because in the time element there are actions and reactions, creation and annihilation. Nor is it the jiva, or marginal potency of living entities, or designated conditioned living entities, because the designations of the living entities are not eternal. The adjective used in this connection is nitya, which indicates eternality. Therefore, the condition of material nature immediately previous to its manifestation is called pradhāna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunadan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchena Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum lagayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Kathanchana smrite yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavet Vismrite viparitam syat Shri Chaitanyam namamitam Vandenantadbhutaishvaryam Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhum Nichapi yat prasadat syat Bhakti Shastra Pravartakaha. Hare Krishna. We are studying here the material nature, its laws, and its the cause of the manifestation of this world, and we are trying to understand the creation. This subject matter can appear to be difficult. I will again translate today's verse. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "The unmanifested eternal combination of the three modes is the cause of the manifest state and is called pradhāna. It is called prakṛti when in the manifested stage of existence." Lord Kapila Deva, he started describing Sankhya Yoga. For that he is famous. We know Lord Kapila Deva is a propagator of the Sankhya philosophy, is a teacher of Sankhya philosophy. Why do we need to study this? And at the beginning of this chapter, the benefits are described. So in the first and the second verses, it is said that by doing so, any person can be released from the influence of the modes of material nature. This is the first benefit. The second benefit is we can attain the ultimate perfection of self-realization. And the third benefit is by this knowledge, the knots of attachment to the material world are cut. So we can see that it's beneficial to learn, to study this subject. Basically, we are studying the creation. What is the creation? So it's important to know at least some basic knowledge regarding creation. Because everybody in this world, naturally, they want to get some knowledge. This is the nature of the jiva. The nature of the jiva is like the nature of the Bhagavan, Sat-Chit Ananda, bliss, knowledge, and eternity. Everybody knows, everybody wants to know something. So jiva also wants to know. And we want to know about this material world. But 99% and even more in this world, they try to understand this world, try to study by material, mundane methods. And what is that? These methods are limited. They're trying to study the cognition. This word can be used in this regard. So every living entity is trying to do something in this world. But we need to know the actual laws of this world. Srila Prabhupada, it was in 1972 in Los Angeles. It was Sunday feast program, and Srila Prabhupada was giving a class. And he has given one example. So in Kolkata, there was one gentleman, very famous dramatist, the one who writes dramas. And he has written famous drama, which is called Taj Jahan, right? Shah Jahan. Anybody heard about this? Shah Jahan. It was written by the person, who is Shah Jahan? The one who has constructed Taj Mahal, in UP, Uttar Pradesh. So many pilgrims come to India for the sake, in UP, for the sake of building it, Taj Mahal. But the main character, the main hero of this Shah Jahan was not Shah Jahan himself. It was his son, Aurangzeb. This is a very, very heavy story. Aurangzeb, he was like a prince, but he imprisoned his own father and he killed his brothers. So basically this drama was about Aurangzeb. So one friend of the author of this drama, he asked the author, "So your drama is about Aurangzeb. Why did you name it Shah Jahan?" And then the author explained, "Because I wanted to explain the sufferings of the father." It was his purpose. He was suffering so much, he was imprisoned, and he was unable to see anything, unable to do anything, seeing how his dear son is behaving very cruelly. That's why the answer was given. So Srila Prabhupada pointed out that no one except the author can explain the meaning of that drama, the actual purpose of this drama. In the same way, the actual purpose of this world, of Vedas, can be explained only by the creator of this world. This is the idea Srila Prabhupada has given. During Gaura Purnima time, I once was taking prasadam in Vaishnava Academy. Vaishnava Academy, there is one building in front of ISKCON Goshala. Although it was March, still it was not so hot. And the devotees, they did not use fans. And the fan was, it didn't move, it was stable. And on the top of one blade, one bird has created a nest. And as we know, it's not recommended to disturb birds. You know, they are the Dhammavasis. They are taking care of their children. But that bird was in a very dangerous position, because as soon as the hot season comes, somebody will just switch on the fan, and maybe the children, the bird children, will die. So it's a very dangerous position. Also, one cat may take rest on the top of a car, some car, but when the car starts, again, a cat in a danger. And here in India we can see, so I came from the West. In the West we have some roads for vehicles and some roads for some people for walking. So we can say it's more or less safe. But here, one road is for everyone. It is a big surprise. It was a big surprise for me. Somebody is, draining some crops, rice, and corn is also on the road, and cows is walking, and modern cars. Everybody use the road, and also dogs. And this is maybe one of the proofs that the Darwin theory, it's not actually theory, it's like a hypothesis of Darwin. It's wrong, because every year so many dogs produce children, and nobody of them could learn that it's dangerous to lay on the road. It's very dangerous. They don't learn, so they don't gain any knowledge. But every day so many dogs die on the roads of India because they just cannot understand. So like that, living entities, they don't understand what is right, what is wrong, what will give me actual benefit. That's why we are also in this material world. We need to know the laws of this material world. If we don't know the law, we will be also in a very dangerous position. So I was thinking a lot about this verse because, this is maybe one of the most difficult verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. And we will not find this verse being discussed on Sunday programs, etc., on the festivals. This is, we can say, some technical subject matter regarding pradhāna. But it is also very useful to know. It can give us some very useful examples and lessons we need to learn. So the approach of, we are studying the material nature. How do we study the material nature? How do we study this world? There are different approaches. And if we try to study this world like mundane scientists do, it's like we are trying to study the prison being inside the prison. Actually, all of us are inside the prison, and we are trying to understand it. So it's not very good idea, not very beneficial. But actually, we need to gain knowledge from somebody who is beyond the prison. And this way we need to study. So this material world was created by Krishna. How he has created this material world? In teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Srila Prabhupada has described very elaborately the signs of different incarnations or avatars of the Supreme Lord. So there is Krishna Swayam Bhagavan. His first expansion is Lord Balarama. And from Lord Balarama, all the different avatars are coming. And there is Mula Sankarshana or Mahasankarshana, manifestation one of the manifestations of Lord Balarama. And from Mahasankarshana, there are 3 Purusha avatars manifest. First of them is Lord Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is maybe the chief avatar in connection to this material world. But Vishnu never touches this material world. This is a difference between Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva has some connection to this world, but Lord Vishnu does not touch this world. So, Mahavishnu, or Karanadakashaya Vishnu, or Karanarnavashaya Vishnu, is a very merciful Lord. And he decided to create this material world for us. In the Bhagavatam 10:87.2, Bhutindriya manah pranan karanam asrijat prabhuhu matrartham cha bhavartham cha atmane kalpanaya cha. Out of his mercy, he has created senses, intelligence, mind for the jivas. Why? To let them enjoy in this world and get liberation from this world. There are 2 reasons. So out of his causeless mercy, Lord Mahavishnu decided to create this material world. And how does he do it? He has one eternal potency, which is called Pradhāna. Now we describe today Pradhāna. This potency has 4 qualities, very interesting qualities. First quality on the board, you can see the word avyaktam, unmanifested. So Pradhāna is unmanifested. Although in Pradhāna, the 3 modes of material nature are present, and our senses, mind, intelligence, all the 24 material elements, ahankara, all of them are there in that Pradhāna, but they're in equilibrium. That's why it's surprising. Aviśeṣaṁ, viśeṣa-vat. Although it's unmanifested, although there is some variety, it looks that there is no variety. That's why Srila Prabhupada points out, it's not impersonal Brahman, this is something else. This is called avyakta. And avyakta has also 2 different names. Pradhāna means the best or the chief, because this is the ultimate cause of all causes in this material creation. This is Pradhāna, cause of all causes. And this is called prakṛti also. Srila Prabhupada explains, when it comes to manifested stage, it's called prakṛti. And also the 4th quality is nityam, it's eternal. And Srila Prabhupada explains, there is no time in Pradhāna. If somewhere is no time, it means this object is eternal. So Pradhāna is eternal, eternal potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is also one of the energies of the Supreme Lord. So Lord Mahavishnu, what he does, at the very beginning of the creation, so there are 3 types of creation. First creation is called sarga. It happens once in a lifetime of Brahma, before the birth of Brahma. Sarga. We are discussing now sarga. Then second creation, secondary creation, visarga, when Lord Brahma started creating using all the elements provided by the Lord himself. And the third creation, living entities here, man and woman, they create the offspring. This is also creation. We are engaged in this material world. So this is the first creation. Nothing existed before. Lord Brahma didn't exist also. So Lord Mahavishnu, he glances over the Pradhāna. But his glances, it's very difficult actually to understand. This matter is described in Brahma Samhita. We have Brahma Samhita book published by BBT, originally it was written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as far as I know, and translated into English by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So subject matter of Brahma Samhita is very difficult, and the language is even more difficult. So we need some translation, English to English translation, to understand the actual meaning of Brahma Samhita. But also it requires the mercy of the Lord. Without mercy, even though it will be translated into nice, understandable English, we won't be able to comprehend this knowledge, because we need mercy of Bhagavan. So somehow, when Lord Mahavishnu glances over the material universe, somehow Lord Shiva or Shambhu appeared, and Lord Shambhu is placed in this pradhāna. And pradhāna is nothing else than Maya, Maya Devi, or Durga, the Maya Shakti. Maya Shakti is pradhāna. So Maya is a shadow of Lakshmi or Radha, ultimately, and Shambhu or Shiva is a shadow of Vishnu or Krishna. So what happens? Shambhu, the original of Ahankar, of the false Shiva, the original false ego is Shambhu. He comes in contact to Pradhāna and he impregnates Pradhāna. Shambhu is in this regard is a personification of first Purusha, first male, and Pradhāna is a personification of the female principles. And out of their contact, appears mahat-tattva. So in mahat-tattva, this is the next substance. In some portion of Pradhāna, mahat-tattva appears. Mahat means the great. And in that mahat-tattva, modes of material nature, sattva, rajas, tamas, are not in equilibrium anymore. So this is the source of material creation. So Lord Shiva and Durga, or Shambhu. This is the origin of everything. And then, also, in that glance of Mahavishnu, there are three substances. First of all, this is Shambhu, the origin of false ego, male principle. Second is time, Kala. And the third, all the jivas. All the jivas, they come into Pradhāna, and then they get the results of their karma and sabhava, and they take birth in this material world. That's why how we come in here. So the point is, this material creation is driven because of the contact of male principle and female principle. So the combination, the interaction between the male and female is a driving force of this material world. In a very subtle form, this is an interaction between Shambhu and Pradhāna, and in the most gross form, this is relationships, sexual relationships between man and female in this material world. So this is the cause of creation. Naturally, in this world, everybody wants to become Purusha. Even though somebody may be in a female body, still they want to be Purusha. They want to lord over this world. It manifests in different ways, but actually, and also we hear that some terms like emancipation, etc. It means everybody wants to become a Purusha, but actually we are supposed to become prakṛti, on the contrary, just the opposite. So it's not a big deal, it's not so glorious to become a male, but male means enjoyer, Purusha, but we are supposed to be enjoyed by original Purusha. So as long as we continue this interaction, this life between man and female, man and woman, as long as we continue these relationships, it means we exist in this material world. So many people, they worship Lord Shiva, the origin of masculine principle, but they just want to remain in this material world. Actually, we need to worship the one who is the original Purusha, who can help us to become prakṛti, to come to our existential position as servants of Krishna. So this Pradhāna, this subject matter of Pradhāna, helps us to understand that when we study this creation, the ultimate reason that some Purusha is trying to lord over, to enjoy in this material world. That's why all karma, all miseries arise because of that. So if we want to be freed from the miseries, which I just read today, one verse in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam explains the purpose of human life is to get rid of miseries. We can also say like that. So then we need to learn how to become the enjoyable objects of the original Purusha, Krishna. And materialists, they try to study this universe. Oh, there is something very wonderful which we don't know. There is cosmos, universe, it's so exciting. But devotees, by studying Bhagavatam, they understand, actually there is not so exciting, because this is just sex principle, just karma, that's all. Karma is the principle of this material world. But beautiful is spiritual world. And in this regard, I want to discuss one important principle which was given to us by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. It was his contribution to our theology. He described this principle as the seer and the seen, or in Sanskrit, drik drishya vichar. Naturally, being in this material world, we are trying to be the seer, the enjoyer. And even when we come in contact to Krishna consciousness movement, when we come in contact with the objects related to Krishna, we are trying to be the seer, means the enjoyer. The seer is enjoyer, and the seeing in the object of enjoyment. So, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was wearing glasses because his eyesight was not perfect. But to show an example, maybe, once he was taking darshan of the deities and he didn't use glasses, and he was standing very far from the deities. And his disciples approached him, Guru Maharaj, why don't you wear glasses? You won't be able to see the Lord. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur started preaching to that disciple. We are not the seers, we are the object of the sight of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when we come to the temple, we say, we come to take darshan. I am going to take darshan of Shri Radha Madhava to the temple. No, we are coming to submit ourselves before the Lord, and the Lord will take darshan of us. And that's why, in this mood, we can understand why it is important to come to the temple every day, because we want to submit ourselves. My dear Lord, okay, yesterday I did this and this crime, so I'm such and such, please forgive me, but I want to serve you. So Krishna will see us. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he went to Jagannath Puri, he never came close to the Lord Jagannath. He was standing just beside the Garuda Stambha, following the example of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, while he was taking darshan of Lord Jagannath, he was standing just beside the Garuda Stambha, because, oh, Garuda-ji, he is the devotee, he is the devotee. And naturally, Lord Jagannath will try to see him. And maybe also he will see me because I'm standing nearby. This is a motive of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. It's called Drishya Vichar. And, but by our habit, we are trying to measure everything with our own mind. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explained one verse he was teaching. Mayate miyate anaya iti maya. What is maya? Whatever is measurable by our mundane tools is called maya. Very good definition. If something can be measured by scale, by whatever material tools, it's called maya, because spirit is not measurable. And this is a first definition. Also, there is a verse from Chaitanya Bhagavatam, probably. Aprakrita vastu nahi prakrita gachar, ved puranete ye kohe nirantor. Vedas and Puranas, they always preach that the aprakrita subject matters, beyond the matter, aprakrita subject matters, are not subjected to be measured by mundane means. This is a law. And also we know that Ravana, he was trying to steal Sita Devi, but he was able to steal only Maya Sita, illusory Sita, because Ravana was a materialist. Materialists can never approach the spirit. And also very nice example is given. It was published in one magazine, in Gaudiya magazine, I believe, and it's also published in the book Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Vaibhava. So once in Gaudiya Math, there was a festival, and there is a tradition, maybe still going on, but I was expected to see it, but I didn't see it this year. I was present during the day, the appearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in the place of his appearance in Jagannath Puri. So I was expected that I will see how this tradition goes on up to date, but no, it was not like that time. So it was a tradition during any festival in Gaudiya Math, devotees for the feast, they served malpua. So previously in Mayapur, we could purchase malpua, sweet. But nowadays, maybe it's only available in Goshala, right? It's still available, yeah, only in Goshala. I don't know if you know what is malpua, probably you know this is something made of dough and sugar and oil, originally from ghee, kind of sweet. So for every feast in Gaudiya Math, they served malpua. And one Shastriji, some Pandit, very respectable person, he came to Gaudiya Math. He was a big donor of the Gaudiya Math, and he just attended the program, the celebrations, and he wanted to take feast, and he was honoring prasadam, was eating that malpua, and one of the disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Ananta Vasudev, he approached him, and very humbly, but nevertheless, straightforwardly, he asked that Shastriji, Shastriji, may I ask you one question? Yes, of course, why not? Shastriji, you are a very learned person, you are very respectable, and everybody respects you in this Gaudiya Math. Can you tell me, is it you who are eating malpua, or it is malpua who is eating you? He was shocked. What? No. I mean to say, is it malpua eating you, or you're eating malpua? And he became, very, very offended. What is that? And he came home, and he was in an angry mood, and he wrote a lengthy letter to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in which he stated, I am a respectable person. I earn a lot, and I have also my 2 sons, and they also have a nice job, they earn a lot of money, and I donate this money to the Gaudiya Math. And my wife is very expert in cooking, and she can cook even better malpua than in your mat. But when I came for the festival to your temple, that disciple of yours, he asked me this nasty question, is it you eating malpua, or malpua is eating you? Did he want to say that I am eating too much? That's why malpua is eating me. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was teaching his disciples. And this is a mentality of the enjoyer of this material world. And there is a proper mentality. So Ananta Vasudev actually wanted to point out that there is a proper mentality. We are subject to be enjoyed by Krishna. So Krishna, that's why also it was a tradition previously in Gaudiya Vaishnava culture, before the feasts, before prasadam distribution is started, someone senior would say, Sadhu sabdhan, Sadhu, be careful, you are dealing with Krishna. So please remember that, don't try to enjoy it. That's why devotees say, we honor prasadam. Don't eat prasadam, we honor prasadam. We are being eaten by prasadam. And in this regard, again, I want to quote this beautiful verse from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. This time I will tell the number of this verse, 11.6.46. Tvayopavuktasra gandha vaso lankara charchitaha uchishta bhojino dasas tavamayam jayemahi. Simply by decorating ourselves with the garlands, fragrant oils, clothes, and ornaments that you have already enjoyed, and by eating the remnants of your meals, we, your servants, will conquer your illusory energy. So we accept everything connected to Krishna as prasadam. And we cannot force Krishna to deliver us, to give us liberation. We cannot demand from Krishna anything. So the attitude of the devotee, we are helpless. We cannot protect even our bodies. We are completely helpless. We cannot protect our bodies. We cannot protect our subtle body. We can't do anything. The only way for us is to submit ourselves to the Supreme Lord. Krishna, you can do whatever you want with me. I'm just submitting myself to you. This, what Krishna wants from us. Very clearly he says, Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja. Just surrender to me, because we don't have any other choice. We don't have any other opportunity. Either we can try to lord over this material universe, and during that time, the Shambhu principle started working. And we are becoming more and more entangled in this material world. This is one way of action. Another way of action is submit ourselves to Krishna. And then Krishna will take care of us. And Krishna gives us hope. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo. I will relieve you from sinful reactions. Don't fear, just surrender to me, don't fear. So this is a proposal of Krishna. So this is a hope for us, just to submit ourselves to Krishna. And in this mood also, Dvig Drishi Vichar, the submissive mood, we take everything connected to Krishna. First of all, prasadam, as I described. Prasadam, we are eaten by prasadam. We honor prasadam. Second, also, Bhagavatam, for example. And the only method is available for us in this regard. It was the first method accepted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu while he was discussing with Ramananda Roy on the bank of Godavari river. Once Ramananda Roy quoted this verse, Mahaprabhu told, yes, this is correct. Gyane prayasamudapasya namanteva jivanti sanmakaritam bhavajiya vartam sthane stitah shrutyagatam tanuvan manobhir ye prayasho jatajato pyasitais trilokyam. The real method is to be wherever you are. Sthane stitah. That is like in army, there is such a saying, at least in Russian army. No, sтой где стоишь. No. Be wherever you are. Somebody is attacking, I will say and say, just stop, don't move. Stane stitah. And also, Krishna says, stane stitah. You are in Shridham Mayapur, you are not happy, you want to move somewhere in your city, you are not happy, maybe you want to change your position, your job, your husband, your wife, your relatives, whatever. Stane stitah. First of all, maybe it can be required, but first of all, stane stitah, stay. And stane stitah, shruti gatam tanuvan manobir. Try to submit yourself to the hearing process. Submit yourself to the speaker who has realized the absolute truth. In this way, you will be able to attain Krishna, to understand Krishna. So we are trying to understand these very difficult subject matters. Bhagavatam, creation, Brahma Samhita, very difficult. But there is a hope for us. We can understand because Krishna, by his mercy, he will instill knowledge in our hearts if we are submissive enough. So our process is what? Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavita hrit saroja aste shrute kshutapatho nanunata pumsam yad yadi yata urugaya vibhavayanti tatte dvapuh pranayase sadanugrahaya. So there is a promise given in the beginning of this chapter that we will attain the knowledge for the perfection of self-realization. What is that knowledge? Knowledge means we will get this realization which comes by the Shrutekshutapartha. We need to hear from the self-realized soul very submissively, and then the knowledge will come. We will realize, yes, what is that knowledge? I don't need to do anything except serving Krishna. If I surrender Krishna, everything I will get. No need to do any separate efforts. In Bhagavatam, in the 4th canto, King Malayadvaja, he was, I think, the guru of Puranjana in the next incarnation. Who remembers? Huh? Purandjana himself, Malayadvaja. And he quoted one very beautiful verse. I remember because for the first time I was given a class, it was on this verse. Pare brahmani chatmanam param brahma tathatmani viśeṣa-vat viśeṣam asmatu pararamaha. 4:24, and number of the verse I don't remember. So King Malayadvaja, he was engaged in yoga process, yoga practice. And once he understood, I am a jiva, tiny, I am a spirit, and my father, super soul, is nearby. And he has seen that super soul is nearby. Super soul is nearby to all of us, but we don't see. But he has seen. At that time, he got that realization. What is that realization? I don't need to make separate efforts to protect me, to gain anything. No, Krishna is here. He will take care. And he became completely peaceful. It was the end of his material life. That was a realization. But he attained that realization by yoga process mostly, of course, not without bhakti. Without bhakti, nobody can attain anything. But our process for this Kali Yuga, prescribed to us by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is Shrutakshita Pantha. To seek the self-realized devotees, or at least devotees who have more realization than us, and to submit our ears to their words, to their katha. That's why before speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, the speaker is praying, speaker is trying his best to invite Krishna. And listeners, they also pray, Krishna, please come. Because only if Krishna will be merciful enough, he will manifest himself. And only then the actual katha will take place. And that katha will transform everybody. So when our gurus, they give classes, especially in India, there are a lot of devotees come. And the speaker, he needs to say something which will be relevant for everyone. It's impossible from the material point of view. It's impossible. But when we submit ourselves to that process of hearing, when we pray sincerely to Krishna, Krishna, please say something for me, then we will not be, I forgot the word, disappointed. We will never be disappointed. And actually, very often I am in Maya, but I'm trying to get out of Maya, and when I come to Bhagavatam class and I'm trying to submit myself to the hearing process, it's never disappointing. It's never disappointing. Maybe at the end of the class, Krishna will say something to you through the speaker. Wow, and you will meditate it till the end of the day. This is the beauty, and this is actually the proper law how our Krishna Katha should take place. We need to pray. We as listeners need to pray to Krishna, and the speaker need to pray to Krishna. Of course, he needs to be qualified, and then Krishna will agree to manifest himself, and then in this way we will get some part of spiritual knowledge. And just by continuing doing so, we will be benefited. And sometimes also, when we have difficulties in our life, like nasty husband and wife and boss and etc., some problems, first of all, we need to check, do I listen enough? Do I listen sufficiently? Because Srila Prabhupada explained that Sahajiyas, they only try to hear the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, because they do it in the mood of drashta, of the seer, of Purusha. Sahajayas, they are trying to act like Purushas. That's why they are condemned. But if we study Bhagavatam in a humble mood, then all the Bhagavatam is nectarian. That recently we were reading the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, we were studying very, very complicated subject matters on different kinds of avatars, but still it's very enjoyable. I mean, when we are not trying to enjoy, it's very enjoyable. So I was trying to prepare for today's class. It was not very enjoyable at the beginning because, Pradhāna, what can I say? Just 4 qualities of Pradhāna are described, and it's so difficult. But when you just dive yourself into Bhagavatam, wow, you become happy. You will become happy, definitely. So if we hear sufficiently every day, even if we don't have opportunity to come personally to attend the class, online it also works, and you can also hear some recordings, lectures, anybody, anything. Srila Prabhupada's lectures, they're so nectarian, and they're a feel of that chit potency and ananda potency. And by being in a constant contact with that chit potency, and Sat, Chit, Ananda, all the 3 are there. When we are in constant contact with all these 3 potencies, we will become happy, and we will be closer in that moment to the spiritual world. So first remedy when we have some problems in our life, check, do we listen sufficiently or not? And make proper adjustments. Then, if we do it, so maybe if some adjustments externally are required, we can do that. We can change our job, our location, whatever. We can consult Guru. But first, we need to be prepared to accept that message of Krishna. What should we do? Hare Krishna, this is what I wanted to say, and Prabhu has a question or comment.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much,
Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna,
for giving me insight and many inspiration for listening especially. I think whenever we get time, then we should come here for offline. Online is okay when we have some seva or something, but we should come. So because in offline we can ask questions, in online we can't. So that's why I prefer whenever I'm getting time, then I'm coming here to ask questions after listening the katha.
Yeah.
So my question is, Prabhu, in Pradhāna, you are saying about Pradhāna is eternal. If it is eternal, then in my understanding, please correct me, in my understanding it should be spiritual. So my question is Pradhāna spiritual or it's a matter still? As you said, Pradhāna is Maya Devi. So Maya Devi is spiritual in this universe. And there are few demigods which we can see in Goloka chart. We have a big Goloka chart. And few demigods which we see in sitar, guitar or something. So that is Saraswati Devi. That also we are seeing that in the near to Goloka or in Vaikunta. So we can see those kind of Devi, demigods. So those are in a spiritual world also, in material world also. So please clarify.
So yeah, first of all, this is a very difficult subject matter, but 2 points came to my mind. First of all, in Brahma Samhita regarding Durga Devi, there is a verse, Srishti Stiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Rekha Chayeva Yasya Bhuvanani Bivarti Durga Ichhanu Rupam Api Yasya Chacheshtate Sa Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Ichhanu Rupam, under the desire of the Supreme Lord, Durga, she can manifest herself either as a material personality or spiritual. She is Durga, she will act like Durga in the spiritual world, or like she will act like Durga here. It depends on Krishna. So when we approach somebody having a desire to serve Krishna, then that person will pray to Krishna for us and we will get spiritual benefit. Like also some people worship Ganesh, not you, but we were discussing this subject recently. Some people worship Ganesha. But in Brahma Samhita, Ganesha is also glorified because Vignan Vihantam Alamasya Jagatrayasya. He can remove the obstacles from the path of a devotee, Ganesha, if we ask him for so. Or others will just ask him for money. This is the first consideration, first point. The second point, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he used these two terms, Divya Saraswati or Shuddha Saraswati and Dushta Saraswati. When somebody is speaking about Krishna in a prayerful mood, then Shuddha Saraswati will manifest herself in his tongue. That's why in one Gauriya Math there is a bhajan. Jaya Jaya Gaura Saraswati. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is called Gaura Saraswati because, like Gauravani Pracharine, the same meaning. He is preaching the message of Lord Gaura. So the message of Gaura is manifested through the words of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And Dushta Saraswati, when somebody is speaking without approaching Krishna. And actually, when we want to speak and when we don't pray to Krishna, it's a failure. So, Divya Saraswati, it will be more difficult for her to manifest herself. So, in brief, it depends on the attitude, how we approach some personality, and he will interact with us accordingly. Does it answer your question, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, I understood. I can understand how we are approaching in a material sense. Means we are approaching with a material vision. Then the same spiritual demigods or a spiritual part and parcel of Krishna appears here is as a material, giving the material benefit. But those are spiritual, which are part and parcel of Krishna. So what I understood. So like Lord Shiva is in the spiritual lok also, and Lord Shiva is in this material world also, and giving us who are demanding material gain, the Shiva is giving material benefit also.
Or one example, in Bengal there are many temples of Durga, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he has composed very beautiful prayer to Durga. So devotees can offer these prayers to Durga Devi whenever we see Durga. It's not an offense to enter the temple of demigod, but we can just ask them to give us bhakti. And also devotees sometimes they recite before the Durga this verse from 10th canto, Katyayani Mahimaye, etc. I don't remember exactly, but so we are asking Krishna to become our master, and we're praying for Durga Devi for that. So even though some people, they worship Durga as a material manifestation to get some material gain, we can worship her in the mood how it was prescribed by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and we will get spiritual gain. Hare Krishna. I think I must stop here. Thank you very much.